and welcome to your Monday morning espresso shot. Let us begin with our heart focused breathing technique. So let us place our awareness in the area of our hearts and begin to take slow, deep breaths and visualize these flowing in and out of your heart or chest area. Taking slower and deeper than usual breaths. Wonderful. Take slow and deep breaths. Make those breaths very gentle. Almost like you're nurturing your body. Beautiful. Feel your body settle down. Slow, deep breaths. Beautiful. Take those gentle, deep breaths. Put a small smile on your face, even a little smile, while you're doing these. And just feel everything melt away. And it's just you and the universe. And know that this is the state that you are meant to be in. As a baseline. Doesn't mean you stay there throughout the week. It just means that this is your go-to place when you need to slow down. And it can be throughout the day you want to return to this state. So anchor this feeling in, because it's a wonderful feeling. And the more you practice each day, the easier it'll be for you to get to this state whenever you want to. So the slow, deep breaths and visualizing these flowing in and out of your heart, let your body have the heart dictate the biology of your body. It's a beautiful feeling. Thank you, and good morning to all those who have chimed in today. Will and Lou, Natalie, David, Wendy, and everyone that's on this call. It's lovely to connect with you this wonderful Monday morning. We are approaching summer. We're just getting through spring, and it's just going to be lovely today. So let us now discuss the I didn't know that moment. And hello, Amy. Good to see you. First timer. Welcome, Amy. Today I wanted to talk about transforming yourself from inside out and the importance of doing that. One of the things that I have come across in a lot of the people that I deal with and coach is this notion of, I can't stand my work, I can't stand where I am, I can't stand this person, so I'm just going to extricate myself away from them, hoping that I'll feel a lot better when I change my surroundings. And to some extent, that is actually appropriate. I can liken that to us having to take prescription medications because we have anxiety. So when you're feeling anxiety, you have to get out of that anxiety mode before you can actually begin to think clearly. And sometimes you have to use measures such as taking some anti-anxiety medications. But once you've done that once, for a short term, you must go back and get back into your body, because you have to transform yourself from inside out so that those triggers no longer affect you. And really, that is our goal in everything that we do in the Monday Morning Espresso Shot, in any program, the 21-day journey program that I've launched. That is the key, is to transform ourselves from inside out. But on the journey, on the way to becoming masterful at that, we must be able to use whatever tools and resources we have, including having to remove ourselves from the situation. So, for example, if you are feeling that, okay, you've hit a dead end at your job, and you're thinking of leaving your job, that's a huge decision to make. I made that decision in 2014. If I had HeartMath tools then, my decision may have been different, but where I am right now may not have been different. I would have gotten here. It might have been a journey with less fraught with fear and unknowns, more with being centered with myself and being okay with myself. And I had to spend 2 years trying to figure myself out and get into the inside of my journey. So at any time, what I've come across individuals who want to leave work, for example, I had two in the past week that I was coaching. And one of the things I asked them to do is go to work with a different attitude. This one individual that was part of this he was working at a tech store. And he says, I love dealing with customers, and I want to do what you're doing. I want to do coaching. But I don't like in the back room when we're working as a tech group together, there's a lot of bad mouthing of customers. He says, I just can't handle that, and I have to quit this job. I want to go into consulting. And I said, well, why don't you just this week go into work, assuming that you're getting paid to help coach customers. You're not getting paid for your tech work. Just walk in there and say, you do tech work for free, but you get paid for coaching people. Is there such a situation in your life that you want to say that I really want to do this, but my work doesn't pay me for that? Then you remove the two together and go to work with that attitude, saying, I want to help people, I want to help transform their lives, and I'm getting paid to do that, and the other stuff I'm doing for free. So here's a little bit of a nugget for you to ask yourself as you walk into work or any other place like that. Do you try to change everything around you so you can feel better, or is it better to change something inside of you? I'll tell you something. If this person had left work to go find coaching business, he would have had a rough time building a clientele because he didn't have that particular branding. So, and if you leave work to go to another work, even if you had some place to land, those issues that you have within you in terms of how you perceive things, those issues will follow you. And you will pretty soon, after another year, you'll see yourself wanting to leave that place. So it's best to work on the inside. Sometimes you have to leave the place you're at, or leave the people you're with for a short amount of time, and collect yourself and build that inner resilience. Then you come back to that place and you'll be better off. So you have to make a decision which is a better thing to do. In all cases, whatever you do, working on the inside is better for longevity and sustainability. Good. Are there any questions on that before we move on to the next phase? Hello, Irina. Thank you. Welcome to the program. No questions? All right. Then let us take the next phase of this, and let's kick it up a notch. Now, we just did the heart-focused breathing technique earlier. This is called the quick coherence technique. This is where we take the heart focused breathing technique one notch higher. So let us place our awareness in the area of our hearts and begin to take slow, deep breaths and visualize these flowing in and out of your heart. Slowly and deeply. Check to see if your shoulder is moving up or not. It should not be. Beautiful. Now experience a positive feeling, something that makes you feel love, appreciation, peace. Just recall a beautiful memory from the past, or perhaps something that you're anticipating, your future fantasy that makes you feel amazing in your heart. Draw that in, because your body does not know whether something's actually unfolding around you or it's actually happening. So begin to draw that in slowly and deeply in your heart. And exhale, slow and deep. And experience these amazing positive feelings in your heart. Put a smile on your face, that'll help. Beautiful. Are you continuing to experience positive emotions? Positive feelings? Beautiful. Know that right now your heart is generating some very powerful magnetic fields with frequencies that are very ordered, which means that people around you, people in your thoughts and your hearts are all receiving this energy. And I'm saying that from a perspective of physics and science. And that is because your heart, the magnetic field that it does generate, you can measure. The magnetic field that the earth generates can be measured. And the earth's magnetic field surrounds the entire globe. And your heart's magnetic field right now is connected to the earth's magnetic field. So there are approximately 15 of us on this particular call, and we all have the same intention of love, compassion, appreciation, peace. All these things are charging up the earth's magnetic field, and everybody around the globe is receiving it. And because your thoughts are going in a specific direction, perhaps you're thinking about your loved ones that are either here with us on earth or have transitioned. It's all going there. There's nothing but love. And so you are contributing to the light of humanity by experiencing a positive feeling yourself. So you win both ways. Excellent. Thank you so much. Very wonderful practice. Now we have 15 minutes for those of us who were here only for 15 minutes and you have to leave. Thank you so much for joining us. There is a 15-minute Q&A optional for you to stay, so feel free to stick around if you have any questions. I will take the next 15 minutes to answer these questions. So if there's anybody who has some questions, please type them into the chat box, and I'd be happy to address that. I had one individual this weekend who was feeling out of sorts, who joined me on my Facebook room. I do have a Facebook room that people can join. Excuse me. It's called the Ask a Transformational Coach, and people can type in questions and things like that. This individual connected with me, and then we kind of followed through on the conversation in a private message, because she was going through some rough patches, grieving and all that. And one of the things that she said, that she's well read all the spiritual books that you can name. I mean, she had read the same books I did, and she says, well, why can't I manifest whatever I want? I'm really stuck where I am. And my response to her was, well, what is it that you must have heard about Law of Attraction and Abraham Hicks? And she says, yes, I've read them. And she said to me, she said, the movie or the book Secret, Abraham Hicks had talked about how there was one important aspect of manifestation that was left out in that Secret documentary and the book. And so I asked her, I was curious. I said, so what part is that? Because I hadn't heard that particular interview with Abraham Hicks, or with Esther Hicks, I guess, or Jerry Hicks when he was alive. She said it's called feelings. She said the feelings is the part, that's the ingredient that's missing in when they talk about the secret. And I said to her, that's exactly right. I said, how do you feel when when you say, this is what I want? Well, most people feel that they have a lack of it. When you say, I really want a big mansion, and let me use that example, I really want a big mansion, your feeling goes to, I don't have one right now. And so even though you say, I have a desire to have a major mansion, your feelings are saying something else. So the HeartMath technique that we talk about in here, and the process we go through, is to actually work on internal transformation, and that's to convert that feeling into that one of gratitude of what I have, and then more of that will come. So are there any other questions at this time? If there are none, there doesn't have to be. I'd be happy to just say thank you for joining me today, and we will continue this next week. For those of us who are on our 21-day journey program, tomorrow is going through busting your fears, get past your fears. And really, it's all about the inside job, and it's all about making sure that you are able to work through fears in a very systematic way, so that fear doesn't overtake your decisions. So we'll see you tomorrow for that. My pleasure, Nancy. Talk to you tomorrow. Yes, absolutely. You're part of the program. Thank you. Wonderful. I did receive a couple of emails, and I will be answering them directly. So, Janet, used HeartMath last night. You were in ER with someone who needed stitches. Okay. Wow. How did that go, Janet? See, when somebody is now in the healing mode is when they are using HeartMath for others to become better. It went well. It was a great support for me. Yeah. There's a lot of things in what you just said, Janet. Let me just explore that. And again, for those who have to leave, please don't feel pressure to stay. But this is a very good example of something that's unfolding in real life, and how you can use this technique in real life. So I'm just going to explore it for a couple of minutes here. For Janet, I'm assuming right now, Janet, that when you were in the ER, somebody getting stitched up, they were obviously very anxious. They were very upset, and they were going through a lot. And so you were also getting drawn up in that. And by doing these techniques, slow breathing techniques, you actually helped calm yourself so that you could be present for that person. And now you are not only helping yourself, but you're helping this other person. And that's so wonderful that you were able to use this in exactly active alert state. Is that you didn't say to the person, I need to go and meditate for a while to do this. But you did it while being present with this person, which is really the way we want to use this tool. So good on you, Janet. Keep practicing this. It'll become second nature to everyone that practices this, just like it did with you. So I'm glad you use this as a support for them. I know that we talked about this, that when you do this for yourself, you actually charge the room around you, so you make things go a lot more smoother. So well done, Janet. And you stayed calm. How? Oh, they passed out on you, and you stayed calm. Wow. Wow, that's amazing. So in other words, Janet, this was something that you were able to manage in a very calm and resourceful manner without having to panic yourself. And it was very important for you to be there that for that person. I'm excited. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Janet. Arena, I live in my heart mostly, but my mind telling me stupid things sometimes. What is the best cure for this to make these things go away? So Irina, thank you for joining us. I know we connected on Facebook. Basically, when we one of the physiology factors of your body is that your heart actually sends more information to the brain than your brain sends to the heart, and that has been known to the scientific community since the 1800s. Okay, what HeartMath has done, and then there's their research, is that when you actually begin to take those slow, deep breaths and through your hearts and visualize them flowing in and out of your heart actually takes control of that information that's flowing up to your brain. So when you said, my mind is saying one thing, my heart is saying the other, that's a classic example of when you are not coherent. Being coherent means your heart and mind are well aligned. And the way to align your heart and your mind is to take the slow, deep breaths, exactly the techniques we use today. And you can do it on the fly like Janet did. And then when you inject that feeling of appreciation and love, that actually builds a coherence in your body. You know that when you're feeling love in your heart and you're completely feeling love, every cell of your body feels love, your heart and mind are connected. And from that point, then you make the decision. That is essentially how we do it. So don't beat up yourself, Irina, if you make a decision and you don't like that decision after the fact. Know that when you do this technique that I just showed you, and the replay, when I send you the replay, when you do this technique, when I send you the replay, practice it. Practice the heart focused breathing technique, practice the quick coherence technique that we did just before this session, and continue to do that, and you will see that your heart and mind will become more and more aligned, and you will be able to get there faster. So that's your homework, Irina. Can you try that? And then tell me how that went next week. All right? Imi, Shamir, when you speak about transforming, can you transform too fast for your own good? Reading, listening, understanding, practicing. How does one pace themselves? Imi, you know what? This happened to me. Excuse me, I'm just going to clear my throat. This happened to me when I first began to learn about new aspects of spirituality that I hadn't been familiar with. And the first kind of foray into that was my own getting a Reiki treatment from someone who told me that she saw guardian angels around me, and she said, well, these guardian angels want you to know two things. And I thought, because I was so used to the scriptures, thou shalt do this, thou shalt. I thought the guardian angels were going to tell me, smarten up, Shamir, you're not doing this well, you're not doing, because that's exactly what I expected, admonition from them. And she says, no, essentially what they want you to do is they want you to have fun, drink lots of water. And I thought, wait a minute, hang on a second, that doesn't sound very, that doesn't sound like something that God would tell me. God is telling me how to run my life and how to establish rules and protocols. You will not do this, you will not do that, but have fun. I've never seen that from a scripture saying have fun, drink lots of water. I became a lot more curious, Emi, a lot more curious. So I started reading the book called Celestine Prophecy, and I read that, and I just started I said, oh my God. And then I started buying all these books, and I started reading all these things, and I started listening to all these workshops, and I became a Reiki master. I became proficient in Akashic readings and all these things. And I was drinking out of a fire hose. Amy, you are going through something that's amazing. If that is what's happening to you right now, is you're diving in because you saw a treasure, and it's a lot of things out there, and you're saying, I just want to know everything. And you know what? That's normal. That's normal. Just follow it. Follow it, follow it, follow it. There, you will always pick up the right book. You will always listen to the right documentary. You will always attend the right workshop. There's somebody else also this weekend told me that she went through this. She's just reading. As a matter of fact, after she got out of her funk, she went back to the books and started reading it. She started going on YouTube channels, looking up Dr. Bruce Lipton, Greg Braden. She's sending me texts about what they're saying. I'm looking at this saying, holy smokes, where she was the day before and where she's now. She just got this inner fire, that inner transformation that says, life is much more than this, and began to just move forward. So Amy, you're in a very amazing place right now. If that's what's happening to you or somebody around you, you don't pace yourself, Amy. You just go with the flow, my friend. You cannot control this. Trust me, I tried. As an engineer, I've tried to control everything around me, and I just let go. And when you let go, you will see things will not come at you very fast. It'll come at you with divine perfect timing. So don't control this, Amy. Just follow your heart and move forward with this. If you feel overwhelmed, do the techniques that we've taught here and learned here, and it'll walk you through. Just like how Janet helped her through her situation. And remember, Janet probably used some of the more advanced techniques because she's in the 21-day journey program. But the techniques that I show you here are adequate for you to actually go kind of make it through these situations of overwhelm. So I'm really excited that you're going through this. And you will come across fears, Amy. You will come across fears. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention this to you. It happened to me. That whatever faith you are practicing right now in terms of religion, you're going to be challenged. Because you will come across something that resonates with you that is not being practiced right now in your religion. And that could be for anybody on this call. Is that you're so used to going to your church or your mosque or your synagogue, and you're hearing something in the mosque or the synagogue or the church, and that does not resonate with what resonates with you from reading a book or seeing a documentary. And that is healthy. That doesn't mean the church is wrong. Doesn't mean what you're resonating with is wrong. It just means that you're seeing a different side of the same coin. And the fun begins when you begin to unravel this. I've gotten so much more appreciation of the practices that I have in my faith that we do, because I can see the inner layers. I can actually know the essence of that, because I can relate that to the Mayan traditions. I can relate that to the Sanskrit traditions. I can relate that to any spiritual traditions, because there's a common denominator in all of these faiths. And the actual excitement is it's when you actually come to that realization that when I go to church or mosque or synagogue, that this is what this really means. Now I get it. And I can now look at this quite differently, and you become more more centered around that. So Amy, for you and anybody else who's going through this, drinking out of the fire hose, so to speak, is you will come across challenges that challenge your existing belief systems. And it doesn't have to be a religious belief systems. It has to be your existing belief system. I'm happy to share with you now, and I wasn't before, about a belief system I had that I held on to decades ago. And that finding love in my heart, that one moment of finding that real love in my heart, eradicated that particular belief system, and I'm glad it did. So I always believed in that there is a certain order in the universe, that men are meant to be heterosexual, and women are meant to be heterosexual, because the scripture says a man and a woman get all that stuff. And so I always believed that homosexuality was a choice. And one day I felt a lot of love in my heart. This is years after that. I felt a lot of love in my heart. And and being an engineer, I wanted to bottle up that love. I say, well, hang on, I can't control this. This is getting out of control. I'm finding I was singing at work. I was walking around at work, believe it or not. Picture this engineer here singing at the top of my voice. And I would just drop into people's cubicles and I would sing. and they would laugh and they would smile. But I felt so much love in my heart. Something happened to me in my life that caused me to create that so much love in my heart. And then after a while I said, well, I got to bottle this up. I can't just go around doing, stuff like this. I'm an engineer, for God's sakes, and I'm a manager. And I couldn't bottle it up. I just felt so much love for everyone around me. Then it dawned on me, I can't control love. I can't control how I feel. So why am I saying that you have to be heterosexual or homosexual is not the right way to go? Because it's something that people feel, and people are usually not when they control, they actually suppress their feelings. And I don't know what I would do if I were to suppress the feeling of love, because it felt amazing. And from then on, it shattered my view that I held, and the views were based on what my interpretation of scriptures was. And of course, when I went back to the scriptures, I looked at it with a more different light, from like a different side of the coin. And I looked at it and says, oh my God, all God is about is unconditional love. That's all. Everything you read in any scriptures, it's about unconditional love. All these other factors on there are just interpretations of that unconditional love, and there's nothing wrong with that. And to me, it helped me step back and step out of my old belief systems. So this is what you're in store for, Amy. Arena, you're a crazy musician. I love that. Thank you for letting me share this. I wasn't expecting to share this, but thank you so much. We are over time. So thank you so very much for joining me today. And if you have any questions, please do send me any emails, and I'll be happy to respond within a day or so. All right? Cool, crazy, happy engineer, Arena. Yes, absolutely. Amy, you're excited. I am excited for you. We're neighbors, so let's go for coffee and have a chat. Would love to know where you're at. Unconditional love, Arena. Oh my God. You know what? I've learned so much. I've learned so much that the power of unconditional love absolutely frees you. Thank you, Will and Lou. Thank you, and have a good day. I'll see you tomorrow, Will and Lou. Maria, my pleasure. Natalie, thank you. Natalie, I have to get back to you on your email. I did see it this morning. Happy to do that. David, you're welcome, my friend. You're welcome. Kickstart your week, guys. Go shine your hearts and change the world. All right, Demi. Anar, thank you. Coffee, yes. Well, Irina, I know you're not in town here. If you are, we can go for coffee as well. All right. You take care. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Enjoy.